The first thing I want to mention, Trent, because this is a conversational show.
Ooh, don't ask me.
And let me preface this with the people at home.
Preface.
We've mentioned a game on this podcast that we've been playing shortly. We only played it, I think, once when we talked about it, and we were kind of excited about it. But we've had a couple other sessions that we've been able to play together. And I wanted to get some of your perceptions on it, and I wanted to share with the people the joy of what it is. But I'm gonna start the question like this.
I almost feel like we should dedicate that to a show, but go ahead.
Maybe, I don't know. I want to talk about it now.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Zero Tolerance is a game for the Sega Genesis, and it's a game that can be played with 2 players on 2 different screens with 2 cartridges.
And 2 systems.
Kind of like a Time Crisis or
with
something
a cable.
like that. Right.
And only 2 people have done that.
Is that, considering that setup and how you're able to play, it's a first-person shooter, adventure sort of, clear out the levels, and, there's a few different bosses, and it's almost like you're on a mission.
Yeah, you're just blowing through guys, and then you get to the end of the level.
There's level after level of creature, of it almost is like, corrupted soldiers, a lot of different
demons,
stuff.
Some robotic demons.
But my question is given the dynamic of 2 individuals playing together co-op, does that make Zero Tolerance? I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Here we go.
Does it make Zero Tolerance a top 10 Genesis game?
Co-opulating. Jeez, top 10.
And I say that I say that seriously, and you guys might be laughing at home listening to me say that, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
Unless you've actually played it 2-player together.
But maybe this can motivate some people, because they do have now these aftermarket cords that you can get. You can find them, and I encourage you guys to do that, or make one if you can't.
How would you
find
make
one? You can make one with two Genesis cords. You can make one.
Oh, and you just kind of...
You splice them together.
Oh, so all it is just like an extension? Is that all it is?
Yeah, you cross the wires a certain way. So it tells you, like, this color goes to this one and this one goes to this one. So there's a way to do it. And I'm sure you need some simple soldering skills to be able to put those wires together. But my point is, given that setup, if you play 1 player, it's kind of cool. It's like, wow, this is a first person shooter on the Genesis.
Yeah.
But when you involve a second person and you're like brothers in arms going through these levels, and like one person's going one way, you can see each other on the map. I think it's got a decent setup for knowing where your friendly is and where the enemies are coming from. There's challenges with the Genesis color palette of knowing who's who, but all in all, like the music, right? The tension that you feel, like the atmosphere.
Yeah. Sound is great on it.
I don't know. I'm kind of struggling because I'm in the moment with it and I'm feeling it, like, really good about it. But it really begs the question: is this a top 10 Genesis game given that setup?
Okay, I would only say maybe. I mean, I think of, like, when you say like a top 10 or your, like, favorite games, it's one where you can still play over and over again. I don't, like, once we finally beat it, like, I don't see, like, playing it again, really. You know what I mean?
Is Snatcher a top 10 Sega CD game?
Well, I don't know. I haven't played it. I mean, I guess.
Well, but you're saying that in order to be a top 10 game, it has to be
personally for me,
replayable.
if I put my top 10 games in there, it's games that I will continue to play over and
you
over.
Go back and back
on that Sonic Streets of Rage level where you can just always play them over and over again. I mean, just even in 2023, we're still like, this is incredible. Like, playing a first person Genesis game together on 2 different screens. So I can only, like, at the time, like, I wonder how that would have been. Of course, obviously that would have been even more difficult then, because you can only get the cable if you got it and then sent away for it,
mailed away.
Yeah. I mean,
it's got to be it's got to be Accolade's best game.
Oh, for sure,
right?
Yeah. I mean, top 10. I mean, you're thinking of, like, all the gems on the Genesis in a top 10.
Is it a top 25 game?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even. I'm just personally in a top 10. Probably not. With all of the like like top tier games on the Genesis. But I wouldn't, if someone put it in their top 10, after playing it, I would be like, yeah, I could see why.
Let me ask you this a different way. Is it a must play?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, for sure. Well, it's only a must. I think it's only a, I mean,
I think it's a I think
even single player.
I was
going to say with a caveat that it's a must play if you do 2-player.
I think it's a must player if you can do it 2-player.
But
But even as even as a single player game,
it's
great.
not
it's not an expensive game, maybe $30. And I think it's an interesting enough sort of oddity in the way of it's not supposed to be on the Genesis. Like a game like that, it's not supposed to work on the Genesis.
Yeah.
And how like seamless it is. And the fact that it's just as seamless in 2-player co-op mode.
Yeah, there's no like
it's instantaneous.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It blows your mind, and it allows you to really immerse yourself in the experience. And the music really sets the tone, and it's got really good item placement. So you just when you're like getting damaged maybe a little too much, there's a health box there or an extra weapon.
And you do have to do a little item management too. You can hold like 5 things at a time.
Right. So you have to make those decisions, and then you can get bum rushed by guys. There's the alarms going off. I mean,
there's a lot. Yeah, I mean,
there's TV screen like pixelated TV screens
of like the news
on the wall. You shoot guys and they splatter up against it,
and their blood drips onto the wall.
I think it's like if this game was made today on a PC, it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be something I would even be talking about. But the fact that it's on the Sega Genesis and it was a contemporary game made in 1993 or 1994, it just I can't say enough about the game and the experience that we're having on it. Like it's like when you're in it, you're just like, I can't believe this is it, and it's amazing. Like it's such an awesome experience. So I want to tell you guys, like you're looking for a new experience on your classic console. It's like Zero Tolerance just gets better and better and better, and the more you play it, the more you're like, that's the experience I want to have. And it's simple enough. It's simple enough that you don't need to. Like we've talked about all the time, you don't need to figure it out. Like we jumped into it after like a month and a half, and we just fell right into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly decent length. I mean, we've maybe played it
halfway through.
I don't know but I'm saying we probably played 4 times maybe, and usually about an hour each time. Roughly.
Yeah.
So
it's probably like an 8-hour. It's probably like an 8-hour game,
which is that's pretty good. I mean, you could probably maybe you could fly through it in single player maybe a little bit quicker. I don't know.
But that's the thing is like though. You got to be methodical and you got to enter rooms slowly.
Yeah, you swarm this way. I'll go around the other way.
It's just, but it's Contra. It's a slower version of Contra, in first person or something. It's like that feeling of having two players, like Guerrilla War or like POW or one of those SNK running guns. Yeah. It's like that feeling that you got playing those games where you had your buddy with you and like, oh, you were about to get shot, but he saved you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's like that feeling of kind of going through like a war together. And so you get that similar feeling, but it's in a whole different genre, like not whole different, but like a very different play style, you know?
You're like, oh, there's a shotgun. How many shotgun shells?
Yeah, what do you got?
What do I have? You got 60. Like, you get that.
You're calling to your buddy down the room, like, hey man, what do you have? And
there's some shotgun shells up here. There's a health pack over there.
Right. It's got like there's like several characters you can play as. You can change up your setup every time you start a new game, or you continue a game. You can pick a different soldier to play as. Yeah,
what's great. Yeah, the password system is like,
it's really good.
It's perfect because it some games, if you use a password system, brings you back and you don't really have all your items or anything. But this somehow it just when you use the password, it keeps all your items you've had and your health and everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it works, but yeah, man, it is a really good game. So if you can find 2 copies, like loose, yeah, just to be able to do it 2-player.
Because here's the thing. Nowadays, it's like getting a Genesis is nothing. Most of you guys have one. So if you can find a buddy, and it's really the person playing, the other person is the limiting factor now. It's not the equipment anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's just finding the equipment, or well, the link cable is the only thing. But
what was that, like? I don't know, 20 or 30 bucks?
$30, I think. But it's the cable makes the experience. I mean, it's 100 times more valuable than the actual device. So anyways, I just wanted to show some love to Zero Tolerance because it really deserves it, and